Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are all doing good today. I see we have Upumla no Lutando on the call. Thank you so much for joining. I see we also have Nkululeko on the call, but I will be recording the session.
Good
I think
morning.
morning. How are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
I'm stressed. How's your application going?
I'm just waiting for Nkulego to make some notes, final touch
Mm.
up, probably submitting tomorrow.
Mm. Why am I not you? Hey? Why am I not you right now?
And I have time yana when I'm at work. So when it's not busy, like yesterday, bokungekho busy. So
Mm.
laptop was free. So I was like, you know what? Let me work. Let me do my
I
other
know you
work.
pushed. You pushed. I'm proud of you. You
Thank
page
you.
one. Page one of one. Hmm? That's me.
Yeah?
Nitsi, I'm on page one.
Ay. Push. Antombo push. Seventy overtime.
I'm so pusher girl. You are motivating me, Gakul.
All right. I'm closing my mic. Same thing when everyone is working from home today.
No stress, no stress.
Sure.
Sha. Okay, guys, seeing as it's just us, I've already started recording the session, and today's session is all about personal branding and building the person behind the business, because as much as we can focus on building the business, we always know that the business also has its own brand, which we learned in the workshop that Usenzeni did for us at the center. But what we also need to remember is we will always be tied to the business. It's something that you guys had mentioned as well, those who have a large following on Facebook and all of that. How Senzeni mentioned how you need to leverage your own personal brand for the business. He mentioned that don't change your personal account to your business. Create a business page and use your personal account to share ama-updates about your business and reshare kuthi yazini guys, here's this company, this is what they do and so forth. So that also highlights kuthi even though you have your brand identity as a business, there's always going to be some form of association to a person when it comes to the business. And that's why you also need to focus on building the person behind the business. So today's workshop agenda is quite short and sweet. We have our session introduction, which is now until 20 past 10. But seeing as there's not really a lot of us, we'll pretty much just go through all of the content. Sitatama break, we'll take a break at 11 o'clock and then till 11:15. Then we'll Kubeka again to speak about how to use AI to build your resume. Then we'll have our closing remarks, and then we'll move over to the closing remarks for the workshop in terms of the assignments, any questions, or any questions that you guys might have, and to also give you time to kind of digest the information. We'll also load this recording to eClassroom and some of the outcomes of the workshop on Google Classroom. So, when it comes to being a professional, just know that there's one platform that you need to master, and that platform is called LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your go to platform for professionals. Can you see once you are on LinkedIn, you will be able to see a lot of opportunities. You'll be able to see what your colleagues are doing, who you follow. You'll be able to see what's actually happening now in the professional industries. what are careers that are booming. You'll get to see what's on demand on the market. It's a very You have to teach yourself this platform because it's not like immediately fun like TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. You have to curate this platform and know to, okay, when I'm going on LinkedIn, I'm being serious, I'm looking at opportunities. I'm seeing what people are doing in their career paths, and I'm learning and I'm absorbing information. I'm also sharing what are my thoughts about what I am currently doing in my professional landscape. So it's a very professional platform. It's not like Facebook where you're just gonna share what you wanna share. You have to be very intentional because even recruiters and people who will be doing research about you and your business, they will go to LinkedIn to see, do they have a LinkedIn page? Who is the CEO of the company? What does this person do? What are their expertise? Does it match with who they say they are on paper? Let's say you are submitting a tender and they often do ask for this information. Then you will at least know, if I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile, it must be in line with what I am doing as a professional. So it's something that we have to be very aware of on our social media platforms. Guti, these recruiters, they are there. They are going through your social media. The minute they see your name, they are going to do a Google search. They will do a search on you. They will go through your posts and they will actually assess to see, are you actually fit for my business? And that's what's nice about LinkedIn, is that's where you can curate who you are as a professional for the business. That is where when a recruiter comes to your profile, you show the recruiter, this is who I am. You can showcase your skills. You can showcase what you do in your spare time. You can showcase your thoughts. You can actually build who you are as a professional on LinkedIn, because most of the times now, any application, some you even do through LinkedIn, a lot of applications you do through LinkedIn. Other ones will always ask you for a link to your LinkedIn profile. So, as I've mentioned, LinkedIn has really become an indispensable tool for professional development. It is your go-to platform that allows one to connect with industry experts. So, people who are thought leaders in that industry, people who are um, innovative, people that are doing similar things that you are doing in your industry, to know Guti. There is a professional chef. There is a professional, let's say if you are doing a catering company. Now you can go on LinkedIn and you can follow chefs, you can follow these restaurants, you can follow all these different types of um, um, experts, as well as businesses that you are interested in. That way you're able to see, okay, what is the in thing, when they fry this potato, now there's a new method. Now kunama air fryer. Now, there weren't air fryers before. So now there's different techniques that you can now look at. Good, okay, when I make lezamban, how am I gonna make it? Am I just gonna fry it? Now they putting it in the air fryer. Are they wrapping it in foil? Are they not wrapping it in foil? You actually get to see that from a professional aspect. Although you can see it, it's something you can definitely see on TikTok and Instagram. But I feel like with those algorithms, they are more for entertainment. So they will show you what sells. Whereas LinkedIn, it will show you in-depth knowledge. You will get unique content that you will then curate for yourself with who you are following. And also the algorithm will also curate you. Now it will start showing you, oh, you like chefs. Maybe let's show you RFQs. You've shown us that you like chef opportunities. Let me show you RFQs for catering. You will now start seeing those types of opportunities on your platforms. So, industry experts, recruiters, and like minded professionals, those are the people you can easily connect to on LinkedIn. And what's nice is you can just send them a message as well if you want to, and you say, look, I'm interested in your work. I followed you for some time. I would love to job shadow you. You can now easily reach out to that person, whether they are in Kenya, Atlanta, America, wherever they are, you can actually reach out to them. That's what's beautiful about social media. It has no geographical bounds. So when you start to actively engage in LinkedIn, as I mentioned, you stay updated on trends. I mentioned the Zambani. Now the Zambani has changed. There's different Zambani techniques that you use when you make the Zambani. Now your Zambani must be crispy on the outside, but it must be soft on the inside. Now there are those techniques that you'll see. It allows you to participate in relevant discussions. You'll notice on LinkedIn there's events, there's forums, there's different types of opportunities that you will see that will allow you to be actively there, and you will actively be relevant in whatever discussions are there. You also have the opportunity to share your knowledge and expertise. You still own your voice. No one can take that away from you. So you can also own your voice in a professional standing to say that I strongly believe that being in entrepreneurship, I need to focus on this. And this is what worked for me. And I learned this. And this was what didn't work for me. It's your voice. That's what you can share on LinkedIn. You can also use LinkedIn to build a strong professional brand, so you can speak about who you are, what you do in your spare time, what you do in your professional time, showcase your accomplishments, you know. Sometimes on Facebook, like you can't be there on Facebook saying, "Hi, I've completed a 12-week Spana Accelerator course," or sometimes people though that audience isn't interested in that. They are just like, okay, manje uyachoma, why are you telling us this? Whereas on LinkedIn, that is the platform where people celebrate that. People are happy to say, wow, I went through this Spana 12-week accelerator. This is what it focused on. And you can speak about everything. You can say, this is what I liked about the program. This is what I didn't like about the program. If there are other entrepreneurs around Lekwa who are interested, I would highly recommend it. Or you can speak about whatever you want, because that is a platform where that is celebrated. You never have to feel like uyachoma. That's what LinkedIn is for, so that the recruiter can go to your profile and say, hello muntu, they are invested in their future. I want to get in touch with them. And it will also showcase career opportunities. If you are looking for a job, LinkedIn is the place to be. If you are looking for contracts, you are looking for RFQs, all you have to do is go on LinkedIn. They've really advanced it now. You can do applications through LinkedIn. You can do geographical searches. You can do filters to say, I'm only looking for a remote job, not a full-time working job where I have to go into the office. You can do that and only apply to what's applicable to you. So obviously, this is a powerful tool. It has many features. Messaging, job searching. You can even learn courses and content on LinkedIn. You can get certain badges. You can do a lot of different parts on LinkedIn that will significantly enhance your career prospects as well as your personal growth. Because at the end of the day, your career is tied to you. You are the engine behind your career. And now, when we look at some tips for building a LinkedIn profile, here are my top 10. I feel like once you get the hang of these 10 um, tips and tricks, you will then be able to master LinkedIn, and it will be able to work for you. Because having a strong professional LinkedIn, it's very essential, especially for networking, career development. If you are in school and you already know you are studying to be a mechanical engineer, for example, you already know, Gutia, as soon as I'm done, I want to go in the workforce. You start now. You already start saying, I am in school. This is what I'm studying. These are my modules. You start following all of these engineering companies, the factories, the firms, and then you actually start immersing yourself because they also post when there's job opportunities, they say this is what's available, bursaries, all of that stuff. It's there on LinkedIn. It's where that information is there, and it's there because it has to live there. It's a part of professional and career development. Although other places do use their other social media platforms to share these opportunities, but LinkedIn is often the hub of where all of this will exist. So you don't have to go very far. So here are some basic tips on how you can build a very impressive LinkedIn profile. Number one is a professional profile picture. Please, you cannot be using a picture where you are at Tejos Chisanyama and you are holding your savannas in the air and the Gumnandi. It's not going to work. If I am a recruiter and I see that's your LinkedIn profile picture, I will find it very unprofessional and it will probably turn me off to even look at your profile. So what you should always do is use a clear, high quality photo of yourself and preferably in business attire in a professional environment. So now there are some really great AI tools where you can like even upload a bunch of your pictures and then it will recognize who you are and it will generate a LinkedIn profile picture. That's how important it is to have a professional profile picture, that people have developed a tool to make professional pictures because it's something that is very, very important to have on your LinkedIn profile. So the picture must be clear, high quality, not pixelated, a professional setup, and you must be in professional attire. And then the second one is having an engaging headline. So create a compelling headline that basically highlights your current role, industry, as well as your key skills. So what I'll do, maybe what I should do is go through these whilst having, I will log into my LinkedIn. Here it is. Maybe I can log into my LinkedIn and you guys can see what I mean. So this is my LinkedIn. Let's go to my profile. Okay, so here, let's start. I'll go back to number one. So having a professional photo, as you can see here, I just used pictures at a conference. They had taken pictures. I found pictures. I said, yes, good shot. Cropped the picture, loaded it here. Looks professional. Here you can also see, looks like a professional sort of environment. So it will speak to professionalism. So I'm not necessarily at the club or chilling outside, or you can see, okay, this person is at an event. So that's just pretty much how I can show you an example of a professional picture. And then I'll go to number two. So having an engaging headline. So create a tagline that speaks to your current role. I don't necessarily have a tagline. I just pretty much have my interest and skills, which are, cybersecurity, tourism, the cloud, data, and technology. These are some of the skills that I have and what I'm interested in. So obviously you can write like a sentence to say, I am a professional data scientist interested in stem cell development or whatever, but something very short and sweet that will come here. This is where you'll see the tagline. Okay, so that's pretty much what I can show you about number two. And then number 3 is a detailed summary. So you need to have a summary that speaks about your profile. So it needs to be concise, informative, outlines your goals, what you want to do, what your experiences are, and what makes you you, what makes you special. Let me check. Here it is. Here is my about, here it is. This is where my short little bio is. It's been a while. It's a very outdated bio. I probably have to update it because I think this was done in maybe 2019, 2020. So there's a lot about me that has changed. So I also need to update this. But it's very simple. I would just click here and I would put my updated bio. So here it just speaks about where I was born, where I grew up. I was born in Krugersdorp. I grew up in the Vaal. What I've done, I'm an entrepreneur. What I've studied, and so forth. So it needs to be out. It needs to be updated. But this is pretty much that information, just so that somebody can have an idea of who you are. Okay. And then let's go to relevant expertise. Okay. So under relevant expertise, you need to list your work experience um, in reverse chronological order. So that's basically what you've done and what you are doing. So detailing your responsibilities, your achievements, and your skills. So this is actually the one thing that I do often on my LinkedIn, but I often do it when it happens. I don't know if I'm making sense. So let's say I just finished something, so then I will upload it on LinkedIn. If I've completed my degree, that's when I upload it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn will also, once you finish with something, it will also ask you if you want to make an announcement. So even when you get a certification, you will update it on LinkedIn if you've done any certificate that you have done. Even this one, the Spana one, once you've done, you can upload it on LinkedIn. If you're doing, I know there's a couple of you guys that there was a data one that was done by, um, not so long ago by the University of Mpumalanga. That's also a certificate you can, whatever you do, any certificate that you do, no matter how big, no matter how small, whether it's free, whether it's paid, add it to your LinkedIn. So you will add it here, it will ask you, what is the name? Where did you get it from? When did you finish it? When does it expire? If it has a credential ID, and then you can add the skill in terms of what type of skill did you acquire through the certification. See, so these are licenses and certificates. There's also skills. You can add all of your skills, what you've done. You can also add, see, I have a couple of skills. You add your skills here, you just add them, what you are capable of doing. And then you can also add your education. So high school, I mean, you can add your high school, but you know, university, you have to start now professional. You can add your high school where you matriculated, and then from there you do university, any certificates, if you did diplomas, anything that you've done, add it here under education. And then you also have your experience where you will add your experience in terms of what you've done. Yeah, what experience you have. That's pretty much how I can show you your relevant experiences. I think I already did skills, which is here, highlight your core competencies and technical skills, and then you use relevant keywords to improve your profile visibility in the search results. So I did already go through skills. You see, I have a lot of skills, 64 skills. That's so that when somebody searches, let's say somebody searches for professional communication or whatever, at least my profile will pop up in a sense because I already have this. It's a skill that I have acquired, you see. So that's basically what I can say about adding your skill sets. Anything that you are capable of doing, even in your qualifications, they usually have Lama output or Lama, when you finish a module, it will say these are the course outcomes and this is what you will be able to do. Add all of that on your LinkedIn. Show them, Gutia. If you can do bio what extraction, add bio what extraction. Okay. And then let's move over to number 6, which is strong recommendations. Okay. So what you can do is you can ask a former colleague or your mentors or anyone who can assist you. You can even ask any of us to give you a recommendation, anything that can endorse your skills and your work ethic. That way, you can also tag us to say that this is where I acquired skills. And should anybody question where you got those skills, I think you can see over here under my skills, I do put the organizations, and then they can then contact the organizations to say, okay, was this person actually at Explore AI? Did they learn programming and Python as a programming language? They can do that themselves. So you kind of giving yourselves credibility, and you're also creating a network where people can openly say that this person has the skills. I saw that they were part of your organization. Can you tell me more? Ne? And then at number 7, this is what I struggle with. Bafetu, I won't even lie. Lena Ianklula to the core, which is having active engagement, meaning regularly posting content, articles, thought leadership pieces, and your personal experiences. So I struggle as a person in terms of like sharing what I do, sharing what I'm doing. But this is a platform where you should actually be free to do that. So I often repost. That's what I'm good at, which is bad. So I'll always repost things that I like, but at least it's better than nothing. But I do struggle sometimes to say, okay, this is what I like. Yo, today I woke up. I realized that I don't work well if I don't have a cup of coffee in the morning. Hope everyone has, those types of things. Um, but I do repost and share content a lot. Stuff that I like, opportunities that I see, things that make me happy. You see, look at the last time I posted 3 months ago, guys. Labora hore, hobby. So I'm also learning. I'm the same as you guys, where I actually need to be active in terms of owning my voice. Nguleko is very good at LinkedIn. I'll show you his profile. Um, he's like amazing. You can see his profile. Look, you see all of his things. Clean, clean, clean. He's always sharing content, and he also always posts. If I look at some of his posts, but you can see all of his stuff is really put in place where he speaks about what he's excited about. You see, 3 weeks ago was his last share. And then even if you go to his experience, all of the organizations, their logos are here, everything, his education, it's very up to date. You see, he has all of his certificates. So it does take time, but it's better to start and then you kind of nurture it. Ne? So that's pretty much number 7. So don't be afraid. I think I struggle sometimes because I'm like, what's appropriate to say on LinkedIn? But I think being yourself is the easiest thing, and owning your voice, because no one can tell you how to be you. And then at number 8, we have join relevant groups, participate in industry specific groups, connect with like-minded professionals, and sharing your insights and updates. So you get to see that once you're on the platform, this will happen very organically because LinkedIn will also share information that is relevant to you specifically and relevant to what you do. That's how you end up. You'll get invited even to specific groups or specific networks based on your interest. So it's important to build your profile so that it is in line with your interests, and that way you make the platform, it makes it easier for LinkedIn to find what you are interested in because you are telling it what you are interested in. And then at number 9, we have optimizing your profile. I think I spoke about this when I spoke about your skills and relevant experience. So once you actually start putting those skills on your profile, it becomes easier for you to optimize your profile. So now you start using keywords, specific things that are relevant to you and that are relevant to your profile, so that the search engine can pull that information and make you more visible to somebody who is searching. So I did mention it when I said if someone is looking for communication skills, obviously that's very broad, but let's say they search specifically communication skills in Johannesburg, age range, female, what, my profile will pop up somewhere. It might not be page 1, but somewhere my profile will pop up. Why? Because it's going to pull that information from my profile and show that as a result to the person who is looking. So it's important to use relevant keywords throughout your entire profile. And then last but not least, you check your privacy settings. So make sure that you are comfortable with the information that is publicly visible. I did speak about this in the beginning. It's very important to know that what you are showing is there forever. So whether you are going to show yourself eating at a restaurant, that's fine. You can say that I like to meet my clients at restaurants because I get to engage with them. Or I like to treat myself after a hard day of work, etc., etc. Whatever you post, you must be comfortable with it because it's information that you've already consented to say that this is visible. So you can have a draft post, something that's not going to be public, but once you post it, it's gone. Whether you delete it, there will always be some form of a record that shows that this was posted. So that is very, very, very important, something important that one needs to make notes of. And I think these are the top 10 tips that will really assist you in having a professional LinkedIn profile, what you need. You see, if you have these top 10, and you don't have to do them all in a day, as I mentioned, there's a lot. It's a continuous thing. It's like a CV. Your CV is always changing the more you change. So you always, it's LinkedIn is almost literally, it's literally a digital CV, basically. In a nutshell, it's a digital interactive CV. And now it has professionals, networking, opportunities, all of that stuff that you can have just on your CV. So now your CV is public, meaning that people can go out there, search for you, and see whether they like you or not. They can approach you, and that streamlines that entire process. Whereas when you still need to submit your CV and or you need to physically print it and hand it to someone. You don't have to do all of that with LinkedIn. Even if someone asks you, you can share a link to your LinkedIn. And LinkedIn also has a cool option that allows you to print your LinkedIn profile. And then you can print it as a PDF and actually use it as your CV. I think via the practical demonstration, because I was doing it as we were going, let me open the floor to if anybody has any questions. Um, based on some of the tips that I was showing.
Sanibonani.
Hi Nolthando,
Ninjani.
ngiyaphila kunjani?
Okay. I do have a LinkedIn profile. It's just that I'm not active, and yeah, I don't think it's up to date. So I think I will take time and make time for me to update it. This was very useful. You revealed information that I didn't know about LinkedIn, so I only thought maybe see I apply, but to also post your business. Okay. Siyabonga.
No, it's a pleasure. Definitely. As I said, Gutsinami, I struggle. I struggle. Like sometimes I'll be in it. Now I'm in it. I'm updating. Then I forget. Then a year goes by and I'm like, yo, because you have to teach yourself to get used to the platform. But now I'm better, at least once a week or every evening, every now and again. I go on the platform. I see that it works. It works. People are there, people are adding me, people will, like, it works. You have to work for it in order for you to see the results of it working. Even I'm a business opportunity akhona, like LinkedIn has, I'm a RFQ, they have contracts, they have, especially the private sector. If you're looking at the private sector,
Mm-hmm.
definitely LinkedIn, let it be your best friend, it will work for you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No, it's a pleasure, Nyabonga, for your question. Let me go back to my LinkedIn. Maybe I can show you guys, Guti, how you can actually download it. Um, let's go through LinkedIn actually. Okay, so this is my profile. I will go to my home. And it works like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, you see. So already as I scroll, you will see opportunities, what's available, what people are doing. They never used to have videos, but now it's evolving quite a lot. Now they have videos and reels and some fun stuff. Um, you see, here's a call for proposals. You see, already klar. I think this one is for Limpopo. Manja, I can't see. But it basically, I think it's more events. Um, but anyway, this is a call for proposal and just interesting stuff. You see, here's the essay writing. There's always something to do on LinkedIn. There's opportunities, there's applications, there's learnership roles. See, I think this is FNB. I wonder what this is. So they will have a link, then it will take you. So some platforms, they will allow you to do it through LinkedIn, but sometimes, like for example, here, this one, it's posted independently via Rand Merchant Bank. Then you would do the application over here, basically. I'll go back to, let me close this tab. Okay, back to my feed. Yeah, you see, there's always something happening on LinkedIn. There's always opportunities, etc. So if I want to know what's going on with my network, so the people I follow, people who are inviting me to connect, you'll pick if you accept them. It's like Facebook. And then who I'm following, my contacts, events. Here are some groups, you see, requested groups. So all of that stuff, you find it here on LinkedIn under my network. Newsletters, anything. And then, so I just want to connect my mouse. It's flat. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's under my network. It will also show me people recommendations. It's like Facebook, but for professionals. And then you can go to jobs. I did speak about this, so it will also recommend jobs. So as you will say, it will say here, based on your profile, your preferences, activities, things that you like, what you search for, what you've saved. These are the jobs that are currently available that would match you. So it will even tell you. That's why it's important to update your profile. So obviously, if my profile is old, which it is, it's going to provide me with old jobs. But I can click here, they all are. It already made a list for me and I can apply. You see here, it says here, easy apply. So I can already click easy apply with LinkedIn. See if I click, it will have all my information. I would go next. Over here, it would have my CV. You see which CV, whichever CV I would have. So I'll select this one because it's my recent CV. Then I click next. Sometimes it will have questions. So my level of English, I will just say professional. Have I applied? Have I completed an MBA? I haven't. How many work experience years, etc. They'll ask me, and then obviously you need to answer. So I will just say 9. Then I will click review. You see, and it's going to review everything, and then I will submit my application and done. You see, then I've literally finished. And once you upload your CV on LinkedIn, it will save it. It will save it there. You will always be able to do it. Ne? Here's another one. You see, you can apply. So when you see this apply with a link like that, it will take you to the application. So this one doesn't have an easy apply where you can do it via LinkedIn, but it will take you to the platform where you apply. So yeah, these are some of the roles, I guess, for me. Then I can go under easy apply and go to a section and look at easy apply jobs that allow me to easily apply using LinkedIn. So let's say here's this web developer one. Okay, here it is. It will say here's my information already. And then obviously I'll just pick my city under the drop down. Then it wants a picture, you see. Then I go to next. But luckily, because LinkedIn has a picture, I don't have to put a picture. And then here's all of my information. Remember that this is information from my LinkedIn. You see? Here's my information. It's pulling it all from my LinkedIn. Then it's going to ask me questions, right? And then the last point would say review, and then it would submit. And then, I don't know, I wanted to do this with you, but it's actually going to submit an actual application. Um, let's try it. How many years? We'll say 6 months. What is my current? I'm just going to give a figure and say 9,000. Okay. What is my notice period? I will say none, right? That's obviously if you are available immediately. Then it asks, do you have a backup power solution or power outages? Please specify one if you have. You see, I said yes, I do have one. Here it asks me, do I have fiber line? So you'll notice that this one is a remote job. These are usually your questions. So I'll just do this so that you guys can see how easy it is to actually see what's out there. Ne? And then it says, are you comfortable working from Monday to Friday, South African hours from 3? This one I start at 3 p.m. till midnight. Ne? Let me just say yes, I want this job. I click review. See, all of my information is here. Ne? Right? And then I will just click submit application, and voila, my application was submitted. You see? So that's pretty much an easy way for how you can also apply for opportunities on LinkedIn. You see here it is applied 11 seconds ago. I can even track my application. Wabo. And they, oh, did I close it? Sorry. Let me just open it again. Okay. Back to jobs. Okay. And then you can search as well, searching jobs. You can look for drone pilot jobs. These are just recent searches that I was looking at. I have a cousin who's interested in being a drone pilot, so I wanted to see, okay, if she does this training, what type of opportunities are there? And I realized that there are opportunities, but our country is still emerging. So a lot of the opportunities I was seeing were more for remote. You can see remote. And then there are also on-site jobs. You see Mossel Bay, Durban. So I was noticing it's okay. If she does do this, she might need to move because a lot of the jobs are a bit further. They're not necessarily available here. But obviously, this is different based on what your interests are. And then over here, this is when you can put, LinkedIn has little banners. So when you want to put open to work, it will look like this. I don't know if you guys can see. It will put like let me open this image. It will put like a banner on your image, this, and it will put open to work like this already on your profile. So someone will be able to see on your profile that, okay, this person is open to work. You can change your visibility settings. Remember, I spoke about that on number 10 about your visibility settings. So you can show that all LinkedIn members can see that you are open to work. Kapa, you can select that only recruiters that are using LinkedIn Recruiter. So LinkedIn even has a recruiter version of this platform where recruiters use it for recruiting. That's why I'm saying it's such an important platform to learn. Okay. And then, yeah, that's pretty much jobs. I don't know. Do you guys give me a job to search for, and then we can try and see what job is available on LinkedIn. We can do a search. Does anyone have a random search? Hit me, Refilwe. What you got?
Hi guys. As Memel, I've always searched for football trials. I know it's not a job, but as a
Let's try it.
footballer, can you try that?
Okay, let's try it. It's difficult. I see what's appearing. You see, it's showing um, developers. Hmm. It's showing more developers. I don't see anything.
Can
I
you
see
try maybe?
gaming.
Sorry, can you try maybe typing in soccer? Maybe something might pop up. I don't know.
Okay, let's try soccer. Yeah, this one is very difficult. The it's it's very difficult. Maybe it's because it's more physical. I don't know, like more sport related. Let's try sports trials. I don't see. Yeah, it's showing more. Maybe we look. Maybe we rather say soccer coach. Yeah, let's try soccer coach. You see, here's a cricket coach, here's a youth soccer coach. Yeah, see, here's one in Joburg. This one is in the Western Cape. This one is in LA. So we need to make sure that we search for like a job. Because if we say football trial, that's not a job. Maybe if it was I don't know, football inspector, maybe I don't know, is the soccer inspector. But it needs to be a job role so that LinkedIn can register what you are looking for. That way it will show you what's available. So soccer coach was available, but you saw what would appear, cricket coach. It will just give you coaches. But if you just search coach, it might also give you wellness coach, sales coach. You see, online tutors, it's a bit vague as well. Do you have another example that we can try to use? There's a well thought out, there's a well skill, like a skill that is in high demand right now, which is cloud computing. Let me show you what they have, or a cloud, let me say cloud engineer. But you see, okay. So I see they have a AWS. Here's a cloud support engineer. Let's open that and see what it's looking for. Okay, it gives you a description about the job. It's quite a long description, but it's good because it's telling you exactly what they want. The experience, what you're going to be doing every day, cloud support, driving sales, interviewing, etc. And then usually there should be a section where they ask about your experience. But sometimes, oh, here it is, preferred qualification. They don't really have, as you can see, they don't say here you must have a university. Okay, here's the qualification. 1 year of software development, 2 years of technical support. So they don't say university qualification. So you can do cloud certificates via AWS or Microsoft, but this one is AWS. It wants more experience. That's what's nice about the cloud, is that you do cloud certificates and immediately you can go into the work environment. Then it just wants this is your basic qualification. Then your preferred qualification, it will tell you specifics, what sort of programming language you must know, understanding the cloud concepts. But again, it's not asking for an honors or a master's. That's what's nice about the cloud. Let's see what other. Okay, I think this one is hard. A software dev at a cloud shop, at a cloud place is very complicated. But let's see what type of internships they have. Okay. This one's been popping up a lot. It's a web developer internship. So they are looking for interns, meaning more than one. This one is going to last 1 up to 6 months based on your availability. This is what it wants you to do: assist in building, redesigning websites, collaborating on design, SEO, creating wireframes, developing responsive websites, etc. What the requirements are, you see, what's also nice is they don't ask for a qualification. They want a PC or a laptop, stable internet. You must at least have an understanding of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is not mandatory. Strong problem-solving skills, and you must be comfortable to work from home because this is a remote opportunity. And you see here the benefits, and you see they don't want a degree or anything. They just want experience. And once you are happy, you would just click apply. So you can continue applying. So it was giving me all of that safety. Why? Because it's taking me to another platform to apply. I'm not applying through LinkedIn, you see. So those are some of the safety regulations you must be aware of what happens if I go to another platform to apply. But everything will still be on LinkedIn. Here's a project manager intern. There's a lot of careers in IT. You know, IT is where it's at. This one, it's a Berlin-based company, you see. Let's try a social media manager. Let's do a search. There we go. There's a lot of social media roles, as you can see. Some are remote and some are physical, but a lot are remote because it's a job you can do remotely. Let's do this one, social media content creator and influencer at Africa Bank. So you can see that sometimes you don't even have to click into it. The minute I click here, it already shows me on the side. So I can already scroll here. You see, it tells me what my key performance metrics are, what type of events and campaigns I'm going to need to do, what type of content am I going to be creating. They really tell you exactly. But you see, this one is clear. It says minimum education, bachelor's degree in marketing. You see? Then it tells you minimum experience. You must have 3 years experience. Okay. If you have no experience, search for intern work. And then we can also look for some business opportunities because these are more job opportunities. Okay. Okay. So basically, you can also look for some contracts and different types of RFQs also on LinkedIn. I'm just clicking here back on the home page. So not under jobs, but under actual LinkedIn. Okay, so I can search here RFQ. And then it will show me what's available. But this is just, for example, here's one. Here's a RFQ that speaks about. Okay, so RFQ means request for proposal or request for qualification. So RFQ is for qualification, RFP is for proposal, and the other one, RFQ, is request for quotations. Okay, so those are the 3 different terminologies that you can note of, but they will tell you. Can you see here? They say request for qualifications. Okay. But if it's a proposal, it will say RFP, request for proposal. And most of the time, other RFQs are for quotations. So you can also scroll down and see, and you can search under jobs, people, companies to find an RFQ. I think I'm doing a bad search right now. Let me say request for proposals. And let's see what's available. See, now it's just showing me people who are talking, but they will be ones that you can see. See, for under jobs, it's mostly contract works, ones that aren't full time. That's most of the time what job results will appear. And then there will be other places. I'm struggling to find one now. Okay, here's one at least. Request for proposal. This one is a RFP. And oh, I did put proposals, and it's showing you what it's for. Here's the proposal, here's the link. This one is already closed, but it's an appointment of a consultant. Okay, so you just need to really search and also take your time and look for opportunities. Let me also search here. Maybe let me search for catering services, but now it will show me people. You see, this is what I mean when I say it will show you. So if your company is doing this, it will already have a button. It will say request services, and then it will take you there as a business. but they will also have different types of companies that will pop up. And here are the jobs. I see that a lot of the jobs that are popping up right now are more jobs that are in line with my profile. So that's why it is showing this type of content. But anyway, we have reached our time for the break. So let's just take a break. We have a break now from, we're a bit late. So we'll just say 11, and then we should be back at 11 to continue with the session. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Okay, it's 20 past 11. I hope we are all back. Okay, so now we are going to move over to using AI to build your resume. So your resume is your CV. I'm sure by now you all know what your CV is. And what's great about digital tools, just like what you saw with LinkedIn, actually, I didn't show you guys, and there's a way to do it. Let me go to my LinkedIn. There we go. If I go to my profile, I just forgot Uti Igupi. But here's your profile, ne? So most of the time when you initially get your LinkedIn, uzobana ama numbers and something, so you can just change it to, you can always edit this, ne? And you can edit all of the information. And here, this is where via your settings, you can edit your profile picture if you want everybody to see it, if you don't want people to see it, what must show, what must not show, etc. Yeah, but I'm just looking for the option where, okay, so this is where you edit it. You would just edit it. I just put my name and my surname. There's a section where you can download this, your LinkedIn profile as a CV. Is it here? Ish. There's a place. Let me just quickly check for you guys. Okay. So it says you have to go to resources. Here we go. So under resources, you can send your profile in a message, and then you can also save it as a PDF. So I've just saved it as a PDF. Here it is. And if I open it, it's not the sexiest, ne? It's like very standard, you know. But let's say goody, and you need to quickly give somebody something. LinkedIn already examined it did half of the work. In fact, this is what you can use to build your CV, which is what we're gonna go into now. Okay, I'm glad we were able to go through that. So that's why LinkedIn is important. You can see Uti, there's a lot of cool things that you can find on LinkedIn, opportunities, jobs, career development, courses, yonke into. You just have to find, you have to teach your profile who you are so that it can know you better. So what's amazing about all these digital tools is they've now revolutionized how we develop skills in order to advance our careers. I know a lot of you guys did ask during our previous workshops, how are we going to learn a computer? Because you need to learn a computer. You saw in the one job spec that we were going through, it said must have a laptop, must have internet, and a certain speed. They'll even sometimes in an interview say, test your laptop speed, and you show them your speed of the laptop as well as the internet. You saw they don't want stories about load shedding or power outage. You must have a backup because when your job is between three at night, you see 3 at night till midnight. Those were those working hours. So those are things that you can do and you can take ownership of your time now if you're going to use digital tools and you're going to develop those digital tools because you no longer need to rely on somebody else. You saw now when we were doing the company registrations, how you are able to register your own company. You don't have to rely on somebody else to register the company for you. When you need to lodge your returns, you can lodge them yourself through your own profile. When you want to, all the different types of things you need to do, you must have ownership of it. And that's what's beautiful about digital tools. So as you can see, there are different types of things like online courses, webinars, virtual conferences, and different types of events that also happen online that will provide you with flexibility. This is an event. What we are doing right now is an online event, and it provides you with flexibility. Maybe you are at work and you are able to join the session. Maybe you are moving, you are shopping, or you are doing stuff, but you are still able to join the session. Maybe you are cooking, maybe you are cleaning, maybe you are busy doing something, but you are still flexible enough to join the session and actually hear what is going on. So it also allows for accessibility to learning opportunities. As I mentioned, this alone is a learning opportunity. And it allows for one to acquire new knowledge as well as certifications at their own pace. So, as I mentioned, you can be busy right now, you can be at work, you can be eteksini, you can be doing something else, but at your own pace, you are able to listen to the workshop. When you have time, maybe you'll go back and watch the recording, or fast forward to a certain part where you're like, oh, I actually want to focus on LinkedIn. Then you focus on that section. Maybe you also forget, Konje, where do I download my LinkedIn as a document? Then you just fast forward to that part. So that's what's great about digital tools. What they've also done as platforms is that they've allowed us to facilitate networking with peers, industry experts, that allow for collaboration and places to share your knowledge. This is how you can leverage different tools. I mean, we're all familiar with I was gonna say WhatsApp. Although it's not a professional tool. See, it's different to LinkedIn. When you go on LinkedIn, you're there as a professional person. But we leverage these tools in order for us to stay up to date and solve problems and ultimately boost our professional growth and allow for us to be competitive, especially in today's rapidly evolving job market. I'm sure you saw on when I was doing the search on LinkedIn how important having those skills are if you want to have a side gig where you are during your spare time. You saw there's different hours. Maybe in the morning you work on your business. So exeni, you are selling amakota, your peak time or amagwenya, you work from 6, and by 3 o'clock your business is closed, people are leaving, for example, the schools are out. When you are done, that means at 3 o'clock you would clock into your other job, that one that I showed you now, where you start at 3 until midnight. It's a lot, but at midnight, and you're not always going to be working till midnight. You work based on your deliverables, and then you go to sleep. You sleep still, you're going to sleep a full almost 5 to 6 hours. But that is what you can do in terms of the different types of job markets that are out there, especially in business, when you know that when you're an entrepreneur, you're always doing many things. You're always bettering yourself so that you can be better in your business. And we also have bills to pay, you know. You have mouths to feed, you have children to support, you have families to support. So you end up needing to find a balance between the two. And that's what's great about digital tools, is you can actually find where you fit in and optimize on that. Now back to our CVs and my top 10 tips on what you can do to create an effective CV. I think by now you guys all have CVs. You've probably attempted, or someone has helped you, but by now you probably have a CV to work on as a base. Ne? So the tool that I'm going to use that is free is Canva. And I'm actually going to go through some of these top 10 tips while we do them. This will fall under our practical demonstration. And then I'll also show you how you can use different types of AI tools, and we can use that LinkedIn document that I downloaded for the different types of AI tools. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Canva and I'm under templates. So to create a Canva is very easy. All you need to do is have an email account and it's free. Obviously, there's a pro version, but there is a free version. So I'm just going to search CV and let's go through some of these top 10. Let's go through them in one go and then we'll go back to them as we work. So the first one is tailoring your CV. So you need to customize your CV for each job application. I think this is something that we like to do, which is a terrible mistake. I also did it now when I was showing you guys how to apply on LinkedIn. I used a generic CV, a CV that I have that just speaks about what I'm capable of and what I do. But if you really want good results, make sure that you have a specific CV based on the job application so that you can highlight the skills and the experiences that are most relevant to the specific role. You saw when we went through LinkedIn how some of the job roles, they are so clear with what they want. So if you cater your CV and you make it answer every single question that they are asking for, you will definitely be matched to the role. And then number two is having a clear and concise format. You don't want to have a long, lengthy CV. That's the problem that you saw with that LinkedIn CV. It takes all of your information and it just makes it a document. So it's not making it concise. So it needs to be short, straight to the point. You don't, even a 3-page CV is long. The most that you can have is 2, but ultimately there will be some jobs where they say you must have a 1-page CV. So always have a 1-page CV. But there are times where you end up having too much information that it becomes a 2-page CV. Make sure that you have a professional format. I'll show you guys when we do it on Canva. Everything is already there on Canva. The format is there. All you need to do is change your headings to match you, have clear headings, and have easy to read fonts. So what's nice about Canva when you use a template, it already has all of that into consideration. And number 3, having a strong opening statement. So starting with a powerful opening statement that basically summarizes your key skills, what your experience is, what your goals are. So on LinkedIn, you saw it's like a short bio. This is similar to that. And then number 4, we have quantify your measurements. So use metrics to quantify what you've done. So if you say I've increased sales for my company by 20% or I've reduced costs by 15%, give those metrics to say that you increased the workflow by 80%. Use metrics because they really help to quantify your achievements and to actually communicate what you've done using numbers. Number 5, we have highlighting relevant skills. So emphasize those skills that are most valuable to the job that you're applying for. So remember, this speaks to number 1, where you actually have your CV speak about the skills that they are looking for because it's always specific to a job. But obviously, some jobs you can group. So if you were grouping a web developer job, you would have a web developer application job CV. If you were doing a personal chef job, you're searching for those types of jobs, you have a CV that is specific to that because they will always overlap. Then you also have your coach jobs. So you have your CV that speaks to being a coach, and you have a specific CV that actually details your skill sets and what type of job applications they have in terms of the requirements and the job specifications. Make sure that your CV answers those questions. So you will have specific skills like your technical skills, maybe it's soft skills, maybe you're doing admin jobs, receptionist, or those communication skills, or industry specific knowledge. So as I mentioned, if you're a chef, speak about being your industry specific knowledge. If you're a mechanic, you speak about that type of industry specific knowledge. So it's applicable to you. And then use your action verbs. So if you're speaking about what you have done, mention that I have achieved, I led, I implemented, I spring-headed. So use action verbs in terms of what you have done so that they are aware of your capabilities. Number 7 is proofread carefully. Make sure you read through your CV. You can ask someone else to go through your CV. You can also ask us, give us your CV, say, please go through my CV so that you can eliminate any errors, spelling, or punctuation. Nothing turns a person off more than a spelling error or a grammar error or punctuation error, because it will often make the person feel like you don't pay attention to detail. Although sometimes it's understandable, we all make mistakes, but just don't let that one mistake be the ultimate deciding factor of your future. At number 8, keep it short and concise. As I mentioned, aim for a one-page CV, unless you really have a lot of experience that you have to put out there. But one page is enough. That's what they want. That's what they love. That's what they will ask for. So 3, hence why I said 3 is even taking it, you're taking it too far. So make sure that your CV is concise and short and straight to the point. And number 9, use a professional email. So please create a professional email address. You cannot have, I'm trying to think of a unprofessional email address. But you need to have a professional email address. Rather let it have your name and surname. You don't want to have something random like the sky is the limit. At you need to, when you are in the space, you can have multiple email addresses. So it's okay to have the sky is the limit email address, but you cannot apply for jobs using that email address. So make sure that you have a professional email address. If you don't have an email address, it's 2025. Please have an email address. You need to have an email address. You cannot live without an email address. It's like not having an ID. I can equate having an email to an ID. And then lastly, at number 10, we have considering a modern design. So you want to have a nice, sexy CV. Can you see those CVs that our parents have? And I'm sure somebody here still has a CV like that. That one on Microsoft, where it's just blocks. Sometimes there's not even blocks, but it's just heading text, heading text. No, we mustn't do that. Again, it's 2025. You need to have a visually appealing CV, something that grabs someone's attention, that even if there's a spelling error, you're like, but that CV wasn't, it was beautiful. And they just believe in you. You don't have to go over the top, but just make sure that you have something that's modern, clean. As I said, those Microsoft version CVs, I'm going to look for one and I'll show you. But even this one that LinkedIn automated, this one looks like that, the CVs I'm talking about, but it's better, but it looks like the ones that I'm talking about. You can't have a CV like this. Okay. All right, so let's go back to Canva, keeping in mind those top 10. And what they love now, they love having pictures on your CVs. Like it's a new thing that recruiters they like. They really like having a picture. So let's look for a template. So all I did was go to Canva. I'm searching CVs. I can also search resume, and let's see what results pop up. It's pretty much the same. Let's pick one. You see, this one almost looks like the one that um, LinkedIn generated. Which one should I pick, guys? Okay, let me just pick one. Let me pick this one because it looks like that one. So you pick the template and then you customize the template and then it will open it. It will still be called this template, what it was called. Then you can just rename it. So I will just rename it to Mamelo Nofukeng CV resume. Okay, so cool. This is how Canva works. As I mentioned, it is free. It's a really nice design editing platform. It has templates that you can use. You can also work with it on your phone, but some of the elements are better if you're using a laptop, but you can get the app. There's a Canva app. You can have that on your phone and you can work on it. You'll just log in using the same design. Okay, so I will use this LinkedIn CV just as a base. Where is it? There we go. Okay, and then we'll just edit it. So I'm just gonna make it very basic. So I'm gonna keep that marketing manager one so that we don't waste too much time doing this. Okay, I wanted to make it smaller, but it's fine. I'll just move it up. There we go. Yeah, well, let's move this down. There we go. Simple. Then obviously under my about me, so Canva now has Magic AI where you can literally give it a custom prompt. So I'm gonna give it a custom prompt and I'm gonna use I'm gonna use this summary of myself. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna say provide me with a short paragraph based on the following. Then I'm going to paste it and hopefully it will give me something nice, but this is too long. So this but shorter because I want it shorter. It's too long. Then I'm going to click generate. It's still very, very long. So I'll say this, but even shorter. Let's see if it. Sometimes AI is dumb, you know. Sometimes if you want to just write this yourself, you don't have to use AI. So I'm just gonna use what they've given me, which is that, and then I edit it. So obviously this is a bit long. I'm not gonna use everything. Let's just stop here. Some of this information is also very irrelevant, but I'm just showing you guys how to edit it. So I'm just going to delete this, put a full stop. I know it doesn't make sense, but this is just so you guys can see how you edit with Canva. Then you would go under work experience, then you will change the different dates. So under here, you would put the date when you worked, the industry you worked in. So you would edit this. Then you would put your title and in bullet points, always use bullet points. to give a list of what you have done. Okay, so you would do that for everything, for all of your work experience. You see here, it's just almost the same, but it's just dummy text. You'll change your dates, so it's quite easy. You can change it to 2020. You can change the months. July, I can put November 20. Let's put this at 2019, and then you change everything. Obviously, here you would replace the image. So this image with Canva, you will just, I don't want to edit the image, but I want to replace the image. So what you usually do is you will go to an upload. I'll go to an upload. So you will download your image and then you will drag it through here. So I'm just going to pick a random image that I find, and there it is. Drag it through there. Obviously, if you want to upload an image, you need to upload it first. You would upload it like this. Okay. Then you have your contact details. Always make sure you have your contact details. Here, if you don't have a website, please use your LinkedIn profile link so that they can use it. Make sure that it's there. You would put your address, your number, and again, your email address. Those are the things you need to have under contact. Then you have your education. So obviously, we no longer really put high school, what you matriculated in. All of that information is like really null and void. Now you need to speak about what you've done at your higher level of education, whether you've done some courses, whether you've done certificates. We no longer put high school information on your CV unless you are fresh out of matric. And then under your skills, remember you have the list of skills. So here you can again ask Canva to assist you with prompting AI. If not, you can use your other AI tools that you use, and then you'll come back and populate your skills. But your skills, make sure that they are bullet points, straight to the point, same as your work experience, bullet points, straight to the point. And then you have your languages, which is usually what language you speak. And then you also have your references here at the bottom. So if you wanted to duplicate a page, you would select it and you would just duplicate it, and it would duplicate the existing information for page 2. Let's say maybe your references didn't fit. So keep this information all the same, and you would just remove all the other information. So I've selected everything, and then I would select my references and move them up. And let's say I also have more references. I just copied and pasted it, and I add more references, for example. That's how you kind of have to play around the design. Let's say you don't want your references here. You still have more experience. So you delete your references, and then you would select your blocks for more experience, and then you can add more experience. So especially if you have a lot more experience, then rather give them your experiences so that they can see. So editing on a phone, it can be a bit harder with Canva, but if that's all you have access to, you can also just do this on your phone. But it's much better to do it on a laptop as well, especially for the smaller details. And yeah, I think that's pretty much just a basic full-on overview that I can give you with a free tool that you can use, which is Canva, and how you see this didn't take time. Although I didn't populate all of the information, obviously I would need to change it to match me, but this is something you can do in a day, and you would have done your CV. And once you have a base of the CV, remember, use the same CV. Remember, your aim is to have a one-page CV. You don't want it to be more than that, right? So you have your one-page CV where it looks like this with everything. put all your information here so it can fit nicely, save it. And then when you have another application that you want to do for another job role, not this marketing manager, you would just duplicate the CV and change the information. But as soon as you have it, it will always be saved on Canva. Once you log into Canva, trust me, it will be easy. Everything will be saved on Canva. Okay. And you saw that by using this Canva template, it already did half of the work for me, all of the work in terms of making it a one pager. You saw there wasn't a template that was more than one page. Proofreading, you can also prompt Canva. For example, once you are done, you can highlight it. If you're going to use AI, and you can tell it to rewrite, you can tell it to fix the spelling. These are things you can already automatically do. Okay, you see here, there's that shortened part. Remember, I had a long one. You see, there's even the functionality for shorten, and then I can replace it. You see, just like that. So it's a really awesome tool. It's free. It keeps getting better and better and better. Once you can master this tool, you can master anything. So Canva did all of the work, gave me a nice format. It already had the opening statement there. In terms of quantifying my achievements, it didn't really use numbers, but other CVs will have numbers and so forth. But this is also a text thing. You can actually put the numbers in your description. Already, if you look at the template as well, you can see some of the words like maintained. Those are your action verbs. Handled. Those are your action words. So a lot of the copy is already done. You can change it, and you can also ask Canva to make it better. You can see it will keep it concise, only one pages. You saw it already had, even here by the email, it already had an email. You see, hello at, you must have a professional email. And then it had a modern design. You can also pick whichever design you want to use. And then we have some amazing CV building tools. I already went into detail with Canva. I will show you these AI ones. These are some AI ones: Resume Builder, Resume, Novo Resume, and Enhance CV. Let me just show you one, and I will use, so what's important to note when using these CV builder tools is have a base of your CV already. Even if it's something you've written on paper, use it. You saw with the Canva one, I was copying from that CV that LinkedIn gave me. But if you have one already, that's what you will use. So with the CV building AI tools, you always need to have an existing CV because they often will ask you to upload the CV. So let's try Resume Builder. Is it Resume Builder IO? Okay. So here it is. I think it's this one because I see the logo. Okay, you see, there's an option for create my new resume. So if you are creating a new resume, it will take you through all of the steps. It will ask you all of those questions. Let me click on it so that you can see. So the same as Canva, you pick a template, you build your resume with your specific, it will give you industry specific bullet points, and then you customize it just like what we did with Canva. So obviously here it's asking me questions. How long have you been working? Let's say I have no experience. It says, are you a student? I will say no, because maybe I just graduated. Cool. And then it's going to give me some templates, some very basic templates. Let's pick the ones that they recommend. And remember, they want, we always remember what they say with LinkedIn, which is what I also highlighted now, is that people, they do like CVs with photos. So I'll already click here with photo so that it can show me all the ones with the photos. but those ones they're not looking sexy. Let's come back here. Yeah. And then let's pick this one. I can change the color. Maybe let's make it red and then select use this template. And then it says, are you uploading an existing CV? So I want to upload an existing CV, but you can also say no and start from scratch. So I'm just gonna upload that one I got from the one we downloaded from LinkedIn, which is right here. Then I'm gonna click open. You see it will tell you that these are the files that it can read. Then you click next. So you can't put a picture. You saw from those files that it puts, there was no .jpeg, .png, so don't put a photo format. It needs to either be a docs or a Word or a PDF or a HTML or a text file. But do not upload an image. It will not pick up an image. In fact, your CV should not be an image to begin with. So it's importing my CV. You see, it was done. Nandi. Then it says, okay, this is just what brought me here today. Okay, I wanted to update my CV. And then you can also skip that. And then great. Now it's kind of like got all my information already pre-populated. So let's say you were also gonna build this from scratch. This was the information it was going to ask you. So if you are new to developing a CV and you don't have one, I would highly recommend using the AI builders to at least draft your template CV because it will give you the right questions. Even with your Canva, you can also draft it there because it will guide you in terms of what are the questions that you are raising. So here I'm just gonna pick a picture. I'm just picking a random picture that I have on my machine. See, I'm just gonna pick a face. Shame, I don't know who this person is, but here we're gonna use them for now. And then it will take me step by step and it will ask me, what do I need the CV for? Maybe I'm looking for a job. If it's a different reason, if not, you can skip it. And then now it's saying, now let's fill in your experience. Okay, so I go to next. So now it's asking me to pick my experience, you know. So maybe I can click skip for now because I already uploaded everything. But if you are doing it for the first time, pick what you're doing and add it. Then I'll go to my education and I'll go next. If I prefer not to answer. So I'm gonna go next, because I uploaded everything. Then I'm gonna go to next, 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 until we are done. So I just kind of skipped through that. Obviously, you will do it more. And also, it's easy for me because I was using a CV that LinkedIn gave me. You see under website portfolios. And done. So let's say it was finished. I would click finish. So it's going to want me to already log in, or I can sign in with my Google. Even if I want to download it, let's say I want to download it, I'm going to download it as a PDF. It's still going to want me to sign in. So I'll just quickly sign in now with the Gmail address so that you guys can see. Granted permissions. There we go. Okay, this one wants money. They're boring. Okay, so this one wants me to pay. But there'll be other ones that don't want you to pay. Like as I mentioned, Canva, it didn't want you to pay as well. It's free. But what you can also do, let's say you get all the way here to Resume Builder and you obviously you don't want to download this, but look, it's done all of the work for you. You can even still improve it with AI, just like we do with Canva. And once you get here, see, you can say use this and it will replace it. Once you get here, you will then just then move over to your Canva and you will use this exact, all this information you see, just like how it did on Canva. It did the bullet points, it did everything. Then just copy and paste this information from here onto your Canva for free, and then you will do it. I wonder if Resume IO is free. But yes, there are different tools. This one wants you to pay, but it already gave you all of the work. See, all of the work is done, and then this is what you can now use to create your own CV on Canva or another free tool. So just be sure, even when you're looking for your AI tool, sometimes they say they are free. Then when you get to the very end and you have to download it, you'll notice that it wants you to pay. If you want to pay, you can, like, it's not a problem, but it's really up to you. And I think that's pretty much the practical demonstration on my end when it came to how to do the CVs, how to do it. As I mentioned, I highly recommend Canva because Canva will never tell you to pay in the end. Let me show you, for example. Here's Canva. Let's say I'm finished with my CV and I want to download it. I go to share and I click download and I can pick which format. So obviously I want it to be in PDF, and then I pick my page on page 1 and I click done and it will download. It will never get here and say you need to pay $5. Do you understand what I mean? So that's just why I say, especially if you're starting out, it's a very good platform, especially for everything, because they don't just only have templates on CVs. They also have posters, flyers, designing logos. I know you guys need to have your logos for your businesses as well. So this is a very, very nice tool to know and learn. It's also going to be the tool that we'll be using for when we do the website workshop. So yeah, and once it's downloaded, here's my resume, and here it is, exactly like how I looked when I was editing it. And yeah, that's pretty much everything on my side. Thank you so much for joining. Do you guys have any questions? Let me check if there's any comments. Okay, I see there's a comment here from Ngululeko. It says business idea for the innovators. Okay, you can build CVs for job seekers, which is true. I mean, you saw what we were doing now. You can build CV for job seekers and students, and then you can charge them. Basically, on everything that we learned today, you can charge them between 50 Rand to 250 Rand. It's honestly up to you. It's something that you can actually definitely offer as a service because everything you are using is free. It's even easier. You saw when they have an existing one, say, give me your old CV. Get the AI tool to do all of the work. You don't have to rewrite. You don't have to do nothing. Then you go on Canva and you paste, 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 and then you give them a beautiful CV. So yes, I do agree with that comment. Thank you so much, Nkululeko. Okay, I think that's it on my side. Let me just stop recording the session.